Welcome to the Garth Riley Show. This is the Business Bakery edition, where we share some insights and knowledge that can help improve your business and help take you to the next level, and me to a new language course. So that can work out. Ken Wells joins me, and Ken and I have had the opportunity to meet through a good friend of ours, Tiffany St. Germain, and they work together in the record industry. And we have so much to talk about. Probably the first part of the segment, Ken, just a little background, because you went from corporate person to entrepreneur about a decade ago, which was right around the first major shifts of corporations sort of having sort of shedding some skin, that people were either being asked to leave or left because of shifts in the economy and shifts in the industry. You, my friend, were like one of the guys that anybody in the entertainment business wanted to be you so bad, want to be a billionaire so freaking bad. VP, Polygram, Universal, A&M Records. If anybody at a cocktail party, people would be like, "Hi." Right?
Oh no, exactly. It was very much anything to do with the entertainment industry. If you said that you were there, especially if you were an executive,
right?
It got you introductions to a lot of people.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, it was just one of those industries, right? That it was a lot of fun. You get to meet a lot of people.
Well, it was also very. It shaped our lives. It was a really. It was a shaper. I remember when I met. Jack, I'm going to forget his last, he produced the Guess Who. Anyways, I'm not asking you to remember. I was going to say Winston, but it's not the right one. Anyways, I met Jack, and he was a professor at Fanshawe College. And I remember talking to him. I can't remember, it's silly for me the name is escaping me. It's okay. I'm at that age. But as I met him, I sat there and I said, "You produced the Guess Who?" All the music that I really enjoyed. And he was a Juno Award winner, an internationally acclaimed producer. And he said, "Yeah." I said, "Thanks." I said to him, "Thanks." But he almost had that awe for me. In my generation, in our generation, music shaped a lot of our life.
Yes, it did. It did.
So you were part of that.
Yeah, and there was a lot of great bands that you never even heard about that did really, really great music.
Right.
I mean, it all really got down to promotion at that point, and cost a lot of money to push a band, right? So there's only so many you can push. So again, a lot of releases that came out. But I really, really loved the job, and the industry had changed from the time I started to the time I ended.
You were in for 25 years.
Yeah.
You were in, eh?
Oh yeah, sure, yeah.
You're in.
Yeah, exactly. And then it was time to get out.
Yeah.
Right. And that was a challenge. I got to tell you, right? Jumping from being somebody, being an executive at a record company,
where everybody would answer your call.
Yes. To going to being an entrepreneur and trying to in a totally unrelated industry, right? Certainly had knowledge in that area, but not people didn't know me from that, right? So. You just kind of set all that stuff behind you, and you go out like many of us do.
Yeah.
And it was a real eye opener. I got to tell you, it was a big shock not to get callbacks. Right? It's like, what do you mean these people are not calling? Do they know who I am? I mean, that's almost how it was. Yeah. And it was really a humbling experience, right? And I have to say that, right?
Yeah.
And you realize that. And I have a whole new respect for entrepreneurs. I got to say that anybody who's starting their own business and they're successful at it, my hat's off to them. I need that same speech therapist that you're going to go to as well. But no, I mean, because it is so different, different.
You talked about it, for example, saying like you led a sheltered life, because really there is a structure in the corporations. Corporations started the way entrepreneurs started. I was saying A&M Records. I mean, I remember as a kid, because I was fond of music, it was started by Herb Alpert. So, and then eventually it got bought up, and who knows whatever happened to Herb Alpert, not good or bad. He probably made a lot of cash and said, "Thanks, and I'll see you later. I'll stay in Tijuana." But all of a sudden now, that's how all businesses started, and yet we got into this corporate world where we didn't really know where the paycheck came from. It was just something that happened. You did your job, and somewhere along the way, something was sold, some exchange of services happened, and so we understood that. But all of a sudden, you went to the entrepreneurial side. The first thing you went into entrepreneurially was what?
I was a consultant, and what was so
as most would be.
Yeah, exactly, and that's when you're in the corporate world, everybody has a view of a consultant, right?
Yeah.
And it's like, oh yeah, those guys.
Another
right?
one of them guys.
The guys with the big reports, right? But I went same as most other people. But I'm different, right? I'm not like those other consultants. I'm very, very different, and of course, you get pigeonholed, right? And as far as everybody else is concerned out there in the world, you're just one of those consultants, the same as everybody else.
Yeah.
So it's how do you get your message out? How do you do you get the person? How do you get past that gatekeeper, and how do you get to the person who's really the decision maker? And if I kind of go back to my life, I had gatekeepers, right? I mean,
you had gatekeepers ears. Well, let's do this. Let's go to break, because that'll be a great segment for us to come back to.
Okay.
Where we talk about, you first of all were protected by gatekeepers, and now all of a sudden you're trying to get past the very people that you had already kind of put in place. Oh, this is great. We'll be right back with more of Ken Wells, talking about from corporate and identity, VP, to entrepreneur, now having to fight the gatekeepers like the rest of us. Tune in. We'll be right back.